Welcome to Let's Play Battlefield 1942. On today's episode, Operation Aberdeen. This is a 2-round server, and I just played part of a round earlier, so I'm going to start a fresh round. This is the big tank level. That's how it's known. This is British versus Germans in North Africa again, and they just give you almost unlimited tanks on this map. They have tons of tanks at the main base, and each side has a main base in their corner of the map, but no side has an uncapturable base. So this is a rare, I believe this is the only map in the game where neither side has an uncapturable base of any kind. And it's also the map that has the largest number of flags that can be captured. The main bases for each side are full of tanks, and even the flags that you capture, apart from the city flag in the very middle of the map, they all spawn at least one tank as well. So basically it's just a massive tank battle, and a lot of people have suggested that the Battle of Kursk, which is the largest tank battle in history, should have been like this map set on the Eastern Front with a lot of tanks. But anyways, your strategy is to have all of the different people on your team in tanks, of course, and rolling to different flags at the very beginning. The map is basically symmetrical, and if you're good about it, you can get 2 or 3 flags right off the bat before the enemy have a chance of capturing any of yours and attacking them. The city flag is the one flag that can't be captured while you're in a tank. You have to get out and climb up the ladder and go inside the building there. There's the German Tiger tank sitting on top of the repair pad, which gives it even more hit points. But on this map, because so many people are in tanks, you can do a lot of good teamwork, even inadvertently. And once again, even though neither side has an uncapturable base, it operates as a standard majority of the flags inflicts ticket bleed type of a map. When you're shooting your tank cannon while moving, it's almost like you have to reverse lead your targets, kind of accounting for the fact that you're moving. And on this map in particular, if you're playing against people who play on this map a lot, you've got to really get used to firing while moving from long range. And you've just got to, it's almost like a map where there's snipers after you when you're in a tank, and you've got to just constantly keep moving, because if you're a stationary target, it makes it way easier for enemies to hit you. The British side is continuing to bleed. Generally, I would say that whichever team holds the city flag in the very center tends to be the one with the majority of flags, just because the other flags tend to be split up. Usually the main bases don't get captured very easily. It takes a lot to go all the way to the other side of the map without getting killed or having the enemy spawn there and defend it with their tanks. But when they do get captured, the main bases often switch. The one side will send an expedition to capture the enemy's main base, and the other side just happens to do the same thing. Alright, I know that there's at least one enemy tank out there, and since I'm a medic, I really can't do anything about that except keep the flag gray. I would really like to be able to get out of the flag capture radius and at least make him think that I've left or something, so that after he captures the flag, he'll leave and I can recapture it. Unfortunately, I think that if I move away from the flag capture radius within this bunker, yeah, there's a lot more visibility there, and if he rolls up like that, then I can't really stay out of his field of vision.
Oi!
Yeah, he keeps rolling back and forth, and I'm stuck within the flag capture radius, and there he finally kills me. And on this map, it's an exception to the rule where you shouldn't sit at the main base and camp waiting around for vehicles. There's so many tanks at the main base that generally, unless you know that there's a tank waiting for you at one of the other flags, and you know that other people aren't going to be spawning in there, you should just respawn at the main, quickly grab a tank, and roll out into the battle. I think as long as the Germans keep a hold of that flag there in the north, they're usually in a pretty good position. In this case, it looks like we've just barely got them out to, we've got a majority of the flags because we've got that city flag. But I'd really like to get this northern flag back because it gives them an easy access to our main base. Earlier we saw one of their German light tanks was heading directly for our main base, and I happened to intercept him, which usually happens because people continually respawn at that main base to grab a tank. They usually will be able to stop the enemy who's trying to sneak in, or they can at least sound the alarm. I decided to aim at that artillery piece because I knew I could kill him in one hit. Alright, I've grabbed his engineer kit. Maybe I can... Unfortunately, that guy moved out from the repair pad, so it wasn't as easy to get a landmine on him. And with the Germans' recapture of the city flag, once again they're bleeding us. I really have to give a lot of respect for the M10, this heavy tank over here. Its level of armor is really excellent. I was able to take on a number of German tanks at once, and one after the other, do a lot of damage before they knocked me down. The Tiger tank, I believe, has even more armor, but its cannon is rickety. After you fire the cannon, it just bobs up and down, and it's really annoying. So I would say that the M10 tank is probably the best one overall. Now it appears that the Germans have lost control of that northern base there. So all they've got left is their main base and one of the ones that's closer to their base. So unless they're able to break out from that position, they could potentially get pinned down in their main base. And we've got a lot of Allied activity over at that other German flag. So hopefully we'll be able to knock that one out, and then we'll really have the Germans pretty much down to one base and trapped. And once again, whenever you're firing at a tank head to head, you always aim for its turret. I mean, aim for the tracks. If you fire at the turret, it doesn't take nearly as much damage. Unfortunately, that bazooka guy is just out of my... There we go, I had a friendly guy take him out. Or, if you can, shoot for the rear of the tank on the lower section, and that is a one-shot kill. Stay tuned for part 2.